Sounds like more audio test noises. Oh, you're muted on StreamYards. I bet you've been unplugging your mic, and StreamYards didn't like that.
Hey, I heard something. Okay, we're getting there. I can hear something. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, that's really fucking quiet. But so okay, we're doing this. We're doing this. Right, microphone. Hello.
Hey, there you are.
Hey, am I too loud?
Nope.
Okay. Now I need to just sort out the fucking sound. Oh, I'm so bloody mad. Fucking
It
computers.
looks like you're having a good time over there.
No, not. Not at all.
Did like OBS update or something?
It was working and now it's not working.
That's fun.
Right. God damn. Fucking frustrating fucking computers. Fucking. Oh. Jesus. Do you know how I fixed it?
Nope.
I pulled the fucking speakers out of the computer. I was like, right, no, there's nothing else. You can't confuse it. You can't get like angry. Like, there's just one thing: a headphone and a microphone. Just work.
Yeah, and like I don't. God only knows what Windows has been doing to the audio, stack. So.
Last time I went live, I had it all set up. It was all working. I haven't touched the headphones since. I haven't touched the headphones settings since. Yet between there and now, the fucking damn thing stopped working, ain't it?
Yeah, but like, when you're running Windows, it's really hard to tell, like, did nothing change or did Windows just decide to update and then break something?
It's the nature of the beast, ain't it, really?
Well, that's the nature of using Windows. Like,
Yeah.
That's why I got so angry I installed an operating system I didn't understand.
Yeah, and I'm getting
Because
close to that. I'm getting close to that as well. Excuse me for knocking. I'm trying to plug the power back into the headset. I got new headset. I don't know whether you see on my head. Yeah.
that's why the mic sounds a little different.
Yeah, yeah. There's no feedback from the speakers. Yeah, and it's a completely different mic.
Is it glowing?
The tip of it is, yeah.
I mean, that's not the way I prefer things.
No,
but,
I know you're not a glow guy. I'm a glow guy.
Yeah.
I do like glow.
A lot of people do. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to try to sit here and say it's weird or anything. It's just, I don't know, I never got into it.
Well, like many things, yeah, when it comes down to money, yeah, I let my wife decide what she wants. Yeah, what she wants to buy me. I said to her, yeah, I want a headset, yeah, but I don't want a branded headset. I don't want Sony headset or something. You know what I mean? Because although it's a good brand, you're also paying on top of a good brand. Yeah. So yeah. It was just genetic.
My headset was a little pricey.
Just the genetic. It's a good headset, but it's a no-brander.
Yeah, I just specifically looked for something that, like, I could, definitively confirm was going to work well under Linux, and like that was essentially the only, purchasing metric that I had. But granted, like that's not to say that those generic ones won't work. It's just finding a confirmed report of like multiple people saying X headset works. You're generally only going to find it for like the common stuff. So I have a Logitech headset.
Yeah, well, it's got something to do with marriage as well, mate. Yeah, I've got things in the past, yeah, where I've said I want this specific thing, and she comes back with it's too expensive, it's the wrong one, it's this, that, and the other. So rather than get into any form of argument or anything, yeah, it's just easier to say I need a thing, please accommodate. Yeah, and then if I get the wrong thing, yeah, or I get, you know, or it's bad or something, I'll make it work, but it's not my fault. But we've had a big spate of me asking for things and her getting the slightly wrong thing. Yeah. It's not an argument, it's not a complaint, it's just a case of, yeah, it's easier this way. Right. I missed you last Sunday.
Yeah, it was Easter. I had to go be with like family and shit.
Oh, fuck that, man. Next time, you tell them, yeah, no, yeah, you're staying on the internet and hanging out with some people that you barely know.
Well, like it was also they were celebrating one of my niece's birthdays, so like I kind of had to be there.
Yeah. But okay, no, that's cool. I hung out for a while, yeah, and then went off and what I did. Oh. Am I cutting out?
No, you were like it, or you might have cut
Okay.
out because you were like saying a sentence and then you just like stopped, but it
Okay.
cut like at an even word.
Well, no, I've got the music. I've got the music playing in my ears. Yeah, and as such, the music stopped, and there was no sound for like 2 seconds. After all the trouble I got to get it working, yeah, and then it like paused, and I was like, oh, what? Is it fucked up again?
Is it using Bluetooth or is it using like some other wireless transmission?
Bluetooth.
Okay.
It's a Bluetooth, but I've got a wire. Yeah, I've got a wire. Yeah, that's charging it, stuck in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my charging wire, I need to get a longer one because I can really only move my head like a foot away from the desk at most when charging it. So I try to just keep it charged.
This has got quite a long charge lead.
Well, like I have to, like, there's a couple of things I have that don't charge off of the voltage put out from the back of the computer. I actually need to plug it into a real brick into an outlet, and that's where I lose all the space. Because the cable has to go up behind the desk and then from the back of the desk to the front, and then like that's easily 4 or 5 feet right there.
Yeah.
I forget which device it is in the house that it might be a couple of them that actually need like real voltage to charge.
Well, this headset, unlike the other headset, can actually work while it's charging.
Yeah, that's convenient.
So I guess I only really need to go to the battery. Yeah, when I'm walking around. Yeah,
I mean, if you have enough head movement, then.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm good to sit here with it charging. I just can't get up, move.
Yeah. Like I have to be careful when I'm sitting here with it plugged in charging. I have to actually be like aware that I can't move. I don't have a full range of motion.
Yeah, I haven't checked out the range of the dongle. Yeah. Right. Yeah, the last one, the last headset I had, yeah, it cut out when I got to the house. you know, there's a shed, there's a brick shed on the side of the house, and between that and the shed, if you were to stick your elbows out, yeah, either side, it's about that distance away from the house, and there's this concrete like roof that goes over top of, you know, connects to the house kind of thing, just to give you the picture. But it's when I cross the threshold of that, yeah, my headset cut out. Yeah, so I have the whole garden to move around and still be connected. Yeah, although I haven't checked this one. I'm assuming it's probably similar. Yeah, it's just when I went into the house, for instance, to get some water out of the sink, yeah, it would cut out. Or if I was to like go to the front of the house to put stuff in the rubbish bins, it would cut out. Right. So I'll figure that out at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it'd be interesting to see, like, is the range the same range for the microphone and the headset, or can you hear longer than your microphone can transmit?
Yeah.
Well, do you get what I'm saying, though?
Not exactly. Say it again.
So, the computer has to broadcast audio to the headset, but then your microphone has to broadcast audio back to the computer.
Okay.
And headsets don't always have the same strength to broadcast back to the computer.
Okay.
Yeah, for battery life. So I'm curious, like, is the range that it stops working, do both of them cut out to the same place, or do you lose your microphone before losing your audio?
You're gonna have me singing up the garden, mate. Yeah. I'm gonna, you know, at some point I'm gonna go to the house singing. Yeah, and you'll have to shout. Yeah, if it cuts out, like, cause like, I don't know. I mean, that's so. I think we'll both have to go up to the house singing, because I'm gonna need. So if the microphone cuts out before the speakers, yeah, I'm gonna need some kind of noise from the speakers, yeah. Cut out.
Well, don't you have music already playing?
Well, yeah, I do.
Because you know that'll tell you when you stop hearing.
I know, but it's much more fun if I say we both go up the garden singing.
I mean, I don't see how I have to move around in this equation.
What do I have to sing? It's your problem. Yeah. I don't know. I never actually thought about that. You know what I mean? I just would take it as a given. Yeah. Both were similar range transmission.
Yeah,
range.
like the only reason why like it immediately popped in my head is that like it's a much more big deal when it comes to setting up a wireless network. Just because you can get a good download speed from the router doesn't mean that the card in your computer can really transmit to the router nearly as well. So your upload might suck balls.
Yeah.
Granted, wireless has gotten a lot better over the past 25 years.
I've only actually used the headset. This will be the third time I've used the headset. Yeah. I'm gonna have to set my speakers up again. I think. I know it might automatically remember me when I plug the speakers back in, but.
I mean, I have zero experience with Windows 11. Like, I assume there's a way of setting up a virtual machine, but there's like this entire secure boot, trusted boot module, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, no, I'm not jumping through all those hoops just to see how bad Windows 11 is.
Oh, God. Yeah. But do you know, over the last 2 years, there's a scale. There's an imaginary scales, you know, like big fucking thing with two pans either side. Yeah, and on one side, yeah, there's Microsoft, and on the other side, you know, there's what's it? What's it called?
Linux.
Linux. That's it, Linux. Um, and over the last 2 years, I keep taking little bricks off Microsoft and start putting them on Linux. Every time I hear a story about Microsoft fucking with people, there's another brick over there. And it's like, right now, yeah, Microsoft is still heavier than Linux, right? But it's nowhere near, the difference is nowhere near the same. Do you know what I mean? I'm one serious fucking meltdown away from hitting Linux. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it. It's a shame that, like, that's how, that's the computer you use, because, like, it's not like I could help you do something, because the moment you have to reboot for whatever reason, like, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think maybe the thing that will finally push me over the edge, yeah, is when operating systems have hard baked things into them, yeah, to let the government do things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's coming soon enough with the age verification stuff.
Yeah, it's on the age verification tails, like
Well, like, that's the entire point of the age verification in the first place. It's not about protecting kids. It's about setting up the infrastructure to be able to, monitor, stuff about who's actually using that specific device.
All the bad stuff aside, it starts out as a good idea. We need to do something about protecting our kids from the darker side of the net, which is sure.
It's a good intention, but the implementation's awful.
Well, that's exactly where I was taking this, yeah, was the fact that they act out of hand, yeah, and change regulations or laws or whatever, bring stuff in without truly understanding it, and that thing that they do, yeah, that's meant to protect the kids, isn't working properly. Do you know? And so what they then need to do, yeah, is then do something else in order to try and make it work. But it's fundamentally not working, yet they're still trying to make it work by adding more complication to it. Do you get what I mean? And so, as it progresses, yeah, it's starting to become less about, looking after the children, yeah, and more about just watching everybody.
Well, like, just watching everyone is actually the point. It's not about protecting kids, because the underlying idea of, like, having a list of these devices are in the hands of kids is just inherently flawed and dangerous. Like, there's no way of adding complications to it that makes having a list of what computers are being used by children a good idea.
I mean, the latest thing I heard was that the government are going to make phones that children are not allowed to have phones. Do you know what I mean? They're not. So you need to show your face to your phone in order to unlock your phone. Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of functionality that's switched off, I imagine, on that phone. Yeah, when it's the child's face looking at their phone. Yeah, I honestly can't believe that the government would just outright ban children having phones. Yeah, but my point is that if you're restricting children and there are parents that object to that restriction, yeah, then I'm sure they're going to find a way around it in order to give their children access to the internet. Or teenagers are going to do their damnedest to unlock it, kind of thing. Yeah, I really feel, I'm really feeling like it's a road, it's a road to nowhere. All this control. Yeah, I saw something this morning that was saying that the government is advising parents, yeah, to check their routers in order to find the child locks that are on routers in order to help protect their children from the internet. And I said, we've come full circle, yeah, from parents doing parenting, yeah, we've gone through the government, and now we're back to parents having to do it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, that is like the way you probably should handle it is like actually interacting with your own network. And then, you know, if you don't want things to be accessible, like it makes me think of back when I was a kid. My mother called the cable company and made sure that MTV and VH1 channels didn't come to our house.
Nah.
So if I went to, you know, one of those numbers, it would just show static instead of like the actual channel. And yeah, like, granted, my router is just a computer, so I don't know what the typical like consumer router experience is anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because oh man, it must have been like 15, 20 years ago. I bought a router and then I immediately flashed it with custom firmware with the idea that because when you flash with firmware, if something goes wrong, you kill the router. It's bricked, dead, throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
So I bought a new router and then immediately flashed firmware on it. So that way, if I screwed up, then I'd be able to like, oh, it showed up broken, and then send it back. But like, the flashing worked, and that was the router before that was the last time I used actual like consumer software to like run a router. So I have no idea what a current router is like these days.
Hey Tools. Hey Ralph.
What's up, Tools? Ralph?
Yeah, mine. So it was crazy when you said because so some things in life are just so simple that you never conceived the concept that they could be different somewhere else. Okay, and as such, I had never conceived, yeah, that you had to buy a router, you know, a router, unless you actually wanted to. You know what I mean? Because every service provider in this country, yeah,
Oh shit! I'm getting a little bit of static. Is it my connection or is it your mic?
I'm not sure. I haven't moved or touched the thing.
That sounds better.
I don't know. Am I sounding
Yeah,
okay to you out there in TV land?
Well, I mean, like now, you know, your audio is back fine.
Yeah, mind you, like to begin, I've begun the show, didn't even work.
This is true.
So I'm doing well. Yeah.
Like, I think, you know, here the ISPs will often rent you a router. So like they'll charge you an extra like $5 a month on your bill if you want to get a router from them. And it's just like, no, I don't want their shitty router and having to pay monthly for it. I'll handle that on my own.
I can't say so. I suppose I'm not a very good indication of broadband companies because when the broadband network finally got round here, yeah, we went with the Virgin company, yeah, and we truly haven't had any trouble out of them, Yeah, in fact, they've been really good to us. Kind of like, so maybe I haven't got an experience of what other companies are like. Yeah, but while we've been with them, they've given us a couple of routers, and all of them have just worked just fine.
Well, like, one thing worth noting is it sounds like you have multiple choices for ISPs, whereas roughly half this country doesn't. Like, I don't have choices. Like, there is literally one company I can get cable from, and that's it. Like, if I don't want to pay them money, then I'm stuck with trying to get DSL from somebody, and DSL sucks balls. But you also don't seem to use wireless ever, and oftentimes the cheaper you get a router, the worse its wireless is going to function.
Yeah, short range.
Well, like maybe short range, or maybe it's just on like not the newest standards, because like I've been using wireless stuff for 25 years. So, I remember it was 802.11b when I went to college, and then G came around, and then it kept going. I think it's like like when like AX, ACX. I don't completely fucking remember, but I know that I was quick to adopt both G and N.
Yeah.
So had I waited for my ISP to give me a router capable of either of those things, then I would have been stuck on a slower speed for a much longer time.
I remember those slow speeds.
Hell, in the B days, I was just happy that it worked. Sure, it wasn't that fast, but it was just nice that you didn't have to be plugged in somewhere.
The first rendition of Counter-Strike. Yeah, I don't mean the first one, I mean the very first version of Counter-Strike. Yeah.
Yeah, for Half-Life.
Yeah, we playing it over a phone network. Yeah. That was nasty.
What was really nasty was that was roughly the era of my freshman year of college, and in the freshman dorms, the internet connection was actually a really good connection. So I didn't like Counter-Strike. I played a lot of Team Fortress, and I had a much better ping than than like most of other people playing, and that gave me a distinct advantage.
Yeah.
Well, like modern games seem to be a little better about trying to be forgiving. Like if the pings are wildly different, trying not to give the person with a really low ping a huge advantage. But Half-Life wasn't written that way.
No. It's almost a completely different internet than when Half-Life came out.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if there's anything modern that's being used, kind of modern, like that hasn't been upgraded since then.
No, I bet there's still a bunch of like ancient computers in like hospitals and manufacturing to like run a machine, and that software never got updated, so it's still like on Windows 95 or 3.1 or some shit like that.
Right out there on the edges of the networks, maybe. Like on the seldom noticed like parts of the networks. Yeah, there was always like fossils.
Well, I feel like for a lot of that stuff, you don't even put them on a network. You just leave them isolated in their own, they're not connected to anything, so nothing can fuck with them.
Sorry, my imagination is thinking of a poor old computer with the screen still on, covered in dust. Yeah, sitting in a basement, like.
I mean, like it definitely still happens. Definitely in manufacturing.
Yeah.
But like even hospitals can tend to have like ancient things. Like maybe they have an old MRI machine and they just haven't gotten around to. They haven't been able to afford to get like a new one. So. DeX actually worked at a company that wrote the programming language that a lot of medical back end, like uh, patient tracking stuff is written in. He can tell you horror stories.
Oh, I've heard horror stories.
But
Yeah,
like
I'm
he
sure.
he worked there, in that language. So like he was, directly involved with a lot of, I wouldn't say directly involved with a lot of the horror stories, but like, seeing the language and having to deal with all that crap was his job. So
My friend, yeah, one of my best friends, he used to work in in the local area hospital accounts department. Yeah, and like when you're dealing with an organization, everything starts and stops with accounts. Accounts,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And so he would come back and tell me all these horror stories. Yeah, like we could sit here and share them, I'm sure, but it would make everybody really bored.
yeah, and like granted, like in Dex's case, like I remember him venting to me, a number of times about like how fucking asinine certain things were, and it wouldn't be very easy for me to explain that to like a non-programming audience.
Oh, there's that, yeah. But yeah, gosh, stories,
Well, like
stories of
apparently,
incompetence and fucking what is it when you spend money that isn't yours? I can't remember now. Embezzlement, that's it. Yeah, stories of embezzlement and shit. Right. Yeah.
so how much hard drive space do you have free? Like, is it a lot, or is it like, getting
Uh,
under 100 gigs or something?
Probably a guess at about 100 gigs.
Hmm.
Yeah, I haven't got
Because
large drives like you.
yeah, well, like, you probably also don't have like 20, 25 years worth of data you've been hoarding onto and never getting around to deleting.
one day, one day, archaeologists are going to come across your hard drives. Yeah, and they're going to judge us by it.
They're gonna find a zillion copies of Windows.
Yeah, all those crazy stories, all those crazy music. Like, this is what the civilization in the 2000s, yeah, listened to.
Oh man.
That's how archaeology works. When you dig something up that's a couple of thousand years old.
Yeah, it looks like I have 8 different Windows 10 installations.
That's a lot for somebody that doesn't like it.
Well, yeah, considering I only use one of them. The rest of them are like snapshots of like a moment in time where like generally if I need to actually reinstall Windows on the virtual machine, I'll make a copy of it real quick, then do the reinstallation, and if everything goes fine, then like I just ignore the copy essentially. But if it completely like fucks everything, then I can go back to the copy and then like start working on the problem there.
Yeah.
But like each image is 100 gigs, so like I've got close to a terabyte of just virtual machines.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm saving my hard drives for when it's really cold.
Yeah. Yeah, like because that's safe.
Sure. Yeah. Save it for emergency.
But yeah, like had you had like a sizable amount of free space, I would have suggested that you could actually try to resize the partition and then essentially get some free space where you could put a different partition and then have Linux and Windows installed like side by side essentially.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get you.
But like
Could do
you know,
that.
if you only have like 100 gigs free, then it starts to get a little sketchy. Like, how big do you? What was that?
Well, you see, the thing is like the operating system just keeps on fucking growing and growing and growing. Yeah, with Microsoft. Like, yeah, it does things and records things that you have no idea about. Yeah, so the file, yeah, that your operating system is in, yeah, is just expanding ever onwards. Yeah, and I have no idea how to reduce that, like, without damaging it. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, I'll go there and I'll strip as much of what I don't need that I do know about away. Yeah, which is more than average, more than the average guy would know, I would say. But there's still those areas, yeah, in the operating system, yeah, where it's doing stuff that I don't know about, and as such, it's growing. So the only way I can combat that, yeah, is with a fresh install. If that's understandable. Like,
I think you're conflating a couple of concepts, but I think I get what you're trying to go for.
Let me. Yeah, no. I'm looking for something in the entirely wrong place.
Happens.
Yeah. Right, what we got here? Yeah, I got 395 gigs used. Yeah, I've got 80.5 gigs remaining.
Let's see. So for used, I have roughly 3 terabytes used, and available, I've got about 2.3 left.
Here he goes with the terabytes.
Again, like I've got like 20 years of crap, so every time a hard drive starts to get like kind of wonky, it's just like, okay, we'll go buy a new hard drive, and you buy a new hard drive, they're clearly bigger. Like I didn't have to get 2 4 terabyte drives, but I think it was last year I ended up one of the drives, I had 2 1 terabyte drives in there. One of them started to fail, and we're like, okay, because both 1 terabyte drives are the same age, so if one starts to fail, then who knows how much longer the second one has left. So
yeah, if they both fail.
Swap. Yeah. Well, like the point of having 2 drives that are the same size is that they act as a copy of each other.
Yeah.
So, like, it protects against a hardware failure, which is exactly the problem that, like, oh, this drive's failing. I need to, now my hardware failure protection's gone. I need to move this data somewhere that's like protected against that sort of failure. And that's how I still have 25-year-old data, is because I've been careful about not letting hard drive death take it away from me.
Yeah. Right. Throw nothing away.
Yeah. Well, like when you can just keep buying bigger and bigger hard drives, then it's just, well, I don't really need to delete stuff. And, when there's 2 4 terabyte drives, deleting something that's 100 megs feels like a waste of effort just locating 100 megs to delete.
Anyway, change subject. I guess people ain't gonna listen to computer talk. How are your plants coming along?
So, did I tell you I had a reject cup?
It's been a while since you told me what was going on with them. Yeah.
So like, I've got 12 plants now because I had 11 plants, and then all the seeds that weren't popping, I just threw it into one cup with some dirt, and like I kept the dirt, moist, on the off chance that something popped.
Yeah.
And something popped.
Life will find a way.
Yeah, and like, unfortunately, it popped literally half a centimeter away from the edge of the cup. So it's in like pretty much the worst spot in terms of growing roots. But I mean, it's a free plant, I guess.
You could use my patented eagle claw replanting technique.
Oh, I'm too scared to replant it. Like, it's probably like 3 inches tall right now. It's way too small for me to want to touch it.
Okay, sure. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, there comes a point where you might want to, but I think if you just leave it, and it'll fix itself in the next replant.
I probably won't replant it because I don't know anything about it. So I'm gonna grow it.
Really?
Hear me out.
Sorry.
Hear me out. I'm gonna grow it until it's big enough to take a clone. I'm gonna clone it, and once that roots, I'm gonna immediately flip it. So the cup isn't gonna be full of roots when I flip it, so I'm not gonna risk transplanting it. And when I go to plant the clone, then that can be put in the center of a cup and be treated like a normal plant. But like, for all I know, the seed can be male. So like, gotta find that shit out as early as I can.
Well, that's the adventure of it. Well, this is why I jumped the gun somewhat in objecting. Yeah, because those are the things that make life interesting. What could it be? How is it going to turn out? Like, it's a great.
Oh, you're getting staticky for a moment.
Yeah, it just clicked.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, but as I say, it's part of the adventure, Like, you could do it the right way, or you can kind of do it the right way. Have a bit of fun along the way. It's not your kind of fun, is it?
Well, like, I knew I was gambling by planting bag seeds, but it's just like, fuck it, They're sitting here in a pile. Either I do something with them someday, or I just throw them out. So I guess right now is the someday.
Yeah, cool. I mean, so you're always. So I've got to always temper what I say, because being an indoor grower as such, you're limited for space. So whereas I would be, so I would have dirt, I would put a plant in it, grow the plant, and then next year I would, put the plant outside, which is what I'm doing, and then another plant will grow out of the same soil, because I chucked seed in there that never sprouted that suddenly starts sprouting. Like I said, life will always find a way. Mystery seed, but I will extract that and grow it, because I have no idea what it is, and it could be fun, but I've got space to do that. Do you know? I could just stick it outside summertime. Yeah, jobs are good, and when you're indoors, you haven't got space to experiment so much.
Yeah, and that was kind of the motivation, like, doing it now, is that, like, because everything is essentially empty right now, I do have more space than normal. If, like, I need to, oh crap, like, I need to veg something longer, I can move into one of, like, essentially like the pollination tent, or like the seed tent, and then just mess with the light schedule so it's on a veg schedule. Because there's, obviously there's nothing else in there, but like, if I'm using all the different tents already for their intended purpose, then I don't have that wiggle room.
Yeah.
I ended up with one plant that is not growing normally. So I'm really curious what that thing is going to turn out like.
So I finished. Yeah, last night I finished everything. Yeah, it's a brand new grow today. Yeah, the last plant I had for growing from over winter time, I've harvested and hung. Everything I got is new seed. Yeah, did you see that video that I put out?
Yeah, there's like a bajillion pots.
Yeah. Well, I'm really fucking weirded out. Yeah, because did you see the sandwich bag sprouting?
I did see, like
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of memories of like the exact details, but yeah, like I did see that part of the video.
Well, anyone that's interested can go back. The videos are there. So I've got a load of sample seed and stuff, which is meant to be authentic seed. Yeah, and when at least half of this seed that I got, I had to physically open the packet, branded packet and stuff like, you know what I mean? So it's authentic seed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Again. So it's authentic seed, okay? And so I put it in the sandwich bag, yeah. And out of all the seed that I put in the sandwich bag, one plant sprouted. Just one. This isn't my seed. This isn't seed I had from years before. This is seed that I've been given this year. Yeah. We'll talk about what and who and where later. I don't want to. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the point I'm getting at is it's not about who, yeah, or what. It's about this seed is branded seed, company branded seed. They're samples, but they're company branded seed. And out of all of them, one sprouted, yeah, which is fucking weird. It's a weird. I mean, granted, anything could happen.
Yeah, but like that does seem like a really rare outcome.
But I planted, off the top of my head, 12, 21 seed, maybe something in the region of 21 seed, and one came out. Something weird is going on, right?
Yeah, that does seem like a process error.
Yeah. And so after I took that one seed out and put it in some dirt, yeah, I was like, okay, this has been going on. I've had these seed in this bag that some of the seed are starting to stain the paper towel around them because they're dissolving in the water. They've been in there for so long. And I'm like, right, well, these seed, it's taken them this long for this seed to come out, and that's it. But like, there's something going on here. I need to work out something out. So what I did was I took some of my seed, yeah, which is just seed. It could be anything, yeah. Right, I took some of my seed, and not so much, but mostly seed for seed. Yeah, I put as much of my seed in there as what I put into originally. Yeah. And that's what most of that, I think most of that except for one came out. Yeah, broke out, and I started growing that, and it's in the little planter, little green planter. If you see on the video, yeah.
I think I saw like a shot with like a tray off to the side.
Yeah, well, there's my latest one. There's one up in the rafters. Yeah, you can see the little sprouts. Anyway, that's what they are. Yeah. So I'm like, there has to be something wrong with the seed. There's no other explanation, because I didn't add or take away anything in the bags.
What
All I
about temperature?
no shame. I mean, to be fair, to be absolutely fair, like I didn't leave them on top of the tent, yeah, for a couple of days. But then that seed that did come out didn't come out until after I moved it off the tent and over here towards the heat, towards the barrel. Yeah.
Well, kind of what I'm thinking is that the first batch was done earlier, so a colder part of the year, and then after that batch failed, then you do the second batch, but it's already getting warmer. I'm not saying it's definitely temperature. I'm just like pointing out that there could be differences.
It's a valid thing, there is a definite difference in temperature between 1 week and the week after. Yeah, but it was inside my greenhouse, inside my shed here, and my shed tends to average out that change in temperature. I wouldn't say that it's not there. I would just say the variation isn't as much as great as what it would be outside. Yeah.
And like temperature-wise, was both bags treated identically?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The original failed seed did sit on top of my tent, which is over here. If anybody's watching, it sat on top of my tent, and then when nothing moved, I brought them over and stuck them over up here. Yeah, and when I put my seed in there, I didn't put them on the tent for however long. Yeah, I just put them back over here. So yeah,
okay.
It could be, yeah, that putting them on top of the tent, yeah, killed them in some shape or form, or prevented them from sprouting or other. So when I brought them over here, only one of them sprouted. It's a crazy thing that happened. Yeah, but needless to say, at the end of the story, I stuck a load of my seed. Yeah, I floated a load of my seed. Yeah, and now I've got 20 something seed. It's 20 something seed in pots up there that are all put a tail out. Yeah, I can't guarantee that all of them are gonna sprout. Yeah, but I can guarantee that all of them were putting a tail out when I put them in the dirt. Yeah, and this year I've got loads of cocoa to start them off in. Yeah, tell me if I did anything wrong, right? But I took this cocoa, put it in a bucket, yeah, and then I got some water, the proper amount of water you meant to mix with it, said it on the packet. I took this water and I stuck in the nutrients into the water, and then I poured the water into the bucket, and it soaked up all the water over a matter of days, plenty of days to soak up the water. I put some plastic on top to stop it from evaporating. And then just before I planted, yeah, I turned the whole thing upside down and emptied it in an equally sized bucket. Yeah, and started filling the little planting cups up with what essentially was the bottom of the bucket.
Did you consider adding perlite?
Not in the slightest.
I mean, I didn't think so, but
yeah, don't worry, I'm laughing on the inside. Yeah, but I guess, but I'd be happy if half of them put a sprout out, get to proper plants.
Yeah, the only question I have is, does the cocoa need to be rinsed?
Ooh, It didn't say it on the packet.
I had a bad experience where I get a brick of cocoa, everything goes fine, it runs out. I get another brick, same company, same everything, and everything went fucking terribly. I still have the other half of it on the shelf because eventually I just switched back to soil because I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. And the moment like I start using soil, everything starts growing the way I expected it to. And the theory at that point has always been that maybe that cocoa really needs to be rinsed like pretty thoroughly, whereas like the first brick didn't need a thorough rinsing. So it's one of those things that I could test it because I still have the rest of it, but I haven't gotten around to testing it because I'm lazy.
Yeah. I mean, you have these, so you've got ideas, but it's untested ideas.
Yeah. Because like that first brick of cocoa, everything went fine. So it's like I'm not blaming cocoa as a whole, but something about that second brick that everything suffered when I tried to grow in it. And even at the time, I didn't have a good theory as to what was going wrong. It was more of like later, over time, I eventually came to the conclusion that, maybe it needed to be like washed, and maybe had it been washed, then I wouldn't have had the problems that I had. But at that point, I have a bunch of soil, so there's really no motivation for me to go and like go buy some cocoa.
Well, you raise the subject. And it's a valid subject. You know what I mean? Did I wash it? Yeah. I only say that because I have heard of, you do have to wash, cocoa. But when I've heard people talking about that, I've always heard them talking about that as in a indoor grow, in such that sometimes cocoa can come with bugs.
I was thinking more of like, coconuts often are like in like salty environments. So if the husks get all salty and shit.
Well,
granted,
sure. I mean,
I assume there's cocoa that you don't need to wash, but not all cocoa.
I hope so, because I haven't washed it. We'll work it out. I'm sure we'll work it out in the next few days as to how much of that comes out of the soil, out of the cocoa. It's just for the last few years, I've been trying to grow in my soil, and I'll maintain there's nothing wrong with my soil, but it definitely is way too thick and lumpy, for a small seed to start off in. Once it's a big, I say big, once it's a relatively grown plant, it then has the strength to push into that soil and spread out all underground, but as a seed, it's too much for it to try and get out of the ground. I think all my seed is just starved underground. Right. But
like the seed's only got so much energy in it for it to actually be able to like put its taproot down and then get above the soil. So if you need more than that amount of energy to move the dirt around, it's probably not going to work out.
Well, the cocoa's looser. And lighter and that. So I've been last year I started using cocoa. Well, to be honest, I was meant to be looking for potting soil. Is what I was looking for, and I found some potting soil, so I bought it, and it turned out to be cocoa. So I assume hopefully it was infused cocoa already with nutrients. I'd hate to think that they were selling plain old cocoa with as a potting solution.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on like the context and the price, because like, yeah, I feel like your average home gardener doesn't have bottles of nutrients lying around. So if they are going to put like their indoor plants into it, they're going to expect there's nutrients in there, because a lot of house plants don't necessarily get fed, or people don't really understand the different ways of feeding a plant. So
Yeah, well, so yeah, what was it? Last night, yeah, last night. I clipped the last plant I got, and last night the tent was empty. This morning I've started setting it up for these little ones. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at the moment, grow wise. And I've taken the plants that I harvested, the 3 plants I harvested. They're outside now.
I'm waiting for 4 clones to root, and then once those clones root, I'm just gonna flip the originals.
Yeah.
It does mean like cleaning a flowering tent out.
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought about cleaning the tent. Do you know, like washing the walls down, and and then I'm thinking about, I heard somewhere, put a little bit of bleach in there, kills everything. Yeah, and so like thinking about washing it all out. But then I live in a shed and the floor's made of dirt, and trying to stop bugs from getting in the tent is a nigh impossibility.
Yeah.
So why make it more difficult than it needs to be? So yeah.
I don't always have the entire tent on the same schedule, so it's nice when there's nothing flowering in the tent, and then I can actually turn the light off and clean the inside to like pick up the dead leaves and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, I did clean it out that way. I did clean the stuff on the floor out. I wasn't going to leave dead leaves lying around.
Yeah, like I've never actually bleached any of my tents.
No.
No. But like it's also relatively dry in my room, so I'm not. I've never seen mold growing in places that really ever.
I didn't get any mold on these 3 plants, but then I'm using it. So these 3 plants were pretty much the first plants I've grown in the tent. Yeah, and I'm not sure about the airflow, but the airflow's been fine.
I mean, how's like the branch strength been then, though?
Fine. Nothing's bent down or anything, but I'm saying I think the ventilation is okay because there's only 3 plants of it, and they're not very big plants. I've got the distinct feeling that if I was to fill the tent up like you see other people fill their tents up, I would have a massive moisture problem. Yeah, because of ventilation.
Yeah, that's definitely not something you want.
Well, before, so the lid, let's call it a lid, the roof of the box that I was growing in, yeah, one end of it, yeah, I raised it up, so I lifted it up, and then stuck a couple of bits of plank underneath it so that there's a thin slice of gap running along it, right? And I adjust that by putting in another plank, yeah, to increase the airflow. But since I put the tent in, the tent has a hole in the top, and that hole is like, that's as big as it's going to be. I can make the hole smaller, but I can't make the hole bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so why would I want to make the hole smaller? But
well,
I
like
guess,
generally tents have multiple holes, so you choose which one you want to use, then close the others.
well, the side one's shut, and the other one is got the light lead, the electric lead going to the light, going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else is shut down because it's a passive airflow system. It's so gentle. Yeah, it can't tolerate leakage out the sides. If that makes sense. Any leaks, kind of thing, it ruins the force of it. It weakens it. Yeah. If any air can pass between the opening at the bottom and the opening at the top. Right. Again, because the air that passes in underneath is cool because it's down low. Yeah, it enters the tent and the light warms the air up. Therefore, the air gets warmer, and as such, it raises. Right. As it rises, it sucks more air in underneath, and so because more air is coming in from underneath, yeah, that warmer air has to go somewhere, and so it funnels out the hole in the top. Yeah, hey presto, I get ventilation for free. Yeah, but I don't know whether that system is going to be strong enough if I fill the tent up completely. I haven't got there yet to experience it.
Yeah, and like, I wouldn't be able to quantify how well that's going to work.
But
it is reminding me that I probably need a new carbon filter, though.
Yeah, we'll cover that bridge when we get to it. Right. We'll deal with it when we get there. But yeah, so I've got 20, I can't remember how many, 20 something seed up there. Maybe more. Right, and I got more seed. That was the stuff that was most popped. Yeah, that was furthest along. Yeah, I've got a whole lot more in the jar. Yeah, that is breaking out, but hasn't actually stuck its tail out yet. To be fair, most of that is it's seed that's put its tail out, not just open the shell. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of it is where there's a bit of the tail that actually sticking out. Yeah, but some of it is still. I ended up with some that's just cracked, not so much sticking. But the stuff that's in the jar wasn't really poking out at all, so I figured that could last in the jar. Things going. Yeah, because if some of the ones I've just planted don't come out, I could just put another seed in there.
Yeah, I mean, you get the space.
Well, don't waste the pot. I've only got so much cocoa, to be honest, although I've got plenty left. Just got under half a bucket left. Right, but yeah. So yeah, springtime. We'll see some new plants go on the go. I've got to replant those re-veggies, the 3 re-veggies I've just harvested. Yeah, and then jobs are good. And Like, I'm still not sure about this this legal fucking weed stuff. Yeah, in my country. I spent I don't know what the dollar sign would be. Yeah, but I spent £30 talking to a private doctor. Yeah, who prescribed me cannabis. Yeah, flour. Um, oh, oil and flour they prescribed. Yeah, but way expensive for me. So I only bought 10 grams of the flour. Yeah, and that's just about gone. Yeah, it's not very much.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you're really trying hard, like 10 grams can be stretched for at least a little bit, but that definitely varies from person to person, like how much you can stretch 10 grams.
Well, to be fair, you can stretch 10 grams as far as you fucking want to if you leave it alone. Right, but yeah, I smoke quite a bit, I suppose. They want me, so the doctor, so I showed the doctor because it was all done on a is it not Skype?
Zoom.
It was all done on a Zoom meeting. Yeah, so I showed him my pipe. He asked how do I normally smoke it, and I said with a pipe, and he was like, no, you're gonna have to get yourself a vaporizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And the company that I'm with, yeah, they have offers for vaporizers. Yeah, price starts in the 200 range. Yeah, £200 range, like, yeah, which is way more expensive than what I could make a pipe.
Yeah, granted, like there are cheaper vaporizers out there, but like I'm guessing they're selling these as like medical devices, so they're probably not going to have any of the cheaper offerings. Granted, like I'm not convinced that there are very many cheaper offerings that are really that good, but they do exist.
Yeah, but they weren't specific to you need to buy our vaporizer. They were just like you need to buy a vaporizer, simply because they are health professionals and they are saying that a vaporizer, smoking it in a vaporizer is, well, none of it's healthy, yeah, but smoking it in a vaporizer is a lot less healthy, a lot less bad for you, yeah, than what smoking it in a pipe is, kind of.
I mean, that's true. Like,
yeah. So
I have a vaporizer I pretty much never use because I forget that I own it. Where is it actually?
Well, they condone vaporizers, but they're rather expensive, so I haven't got one yet. But
oh yeah, I think mine was like 150, 200.
Was it?
Yeah. Granted, like I did get a decent one because like I was not like for like the smaller, cheaper ones. Like I was either concerned about like how long is this device actually going to last, or various things like that. Like for me, a big thing is if I can't change the battery myself, I'm not interested in buying it, because I know that if there's a built-in battery, eventually that built-in battery is not going to really work, and then that's it. That's like the end of me using whatever it is.
Yeah. But well, I haven't got. So they offered me, off the top of my head,
I found it.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember how much oil they were telling me that they were letting me have. Yeah, but they gave me 30 grams flour, and I only bought 10 grams of flour. Yeah, because 10 grams of flour was costing me £55. Yeah, and I barely had enough money for that, let alone like 30 grams of the stuff.
What's up, Jess? Let's see.
Hey, Jess.
Wait, so you said 10 grams was 50 pounds.
55. There's
55.
There's the cheapest. So I just let it ride. Okay. When the doctor gave me the prescription, I automatically sent the prescription to their dispensary.
Well, like
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do the math
I-
to figure out like.
I could have objected, yeah, and told them to send that prescription to whatever pharmacy of my choosing. I just let it ride, yeah. But when I looked at prices elsewhere, yeah, the cheapest price for 10 grams, yeah, was £45. Yeah.
Well, like, so 10 grams for 55 is 5.5 per gram, which, you know, converts to like 740 USD, which means that an eighth works out to be $26, and I'd say that's definitely cheaper than what I was charging, you know, on the black market. Like,
Yeah.
I know that like the cheapest I would ever sell would be for 40 an eighth, not 26 an eighth.
Yeah, well, it's not that much different to here now. Like dealing here. I've been
But
told.
like, I haven't dealt in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember. But like, I have to imagine with inflation that like the black market prices have gone up. But I don't live in a place with, you know, a functional black market anymore because it's legal. So like, you know, I wouldn't even begin to be able to tell you what weed, you know, goes for in illegal places.
Me too. Now I've been growing it for a while, but I was told that it's not all that much different to what it is like on the black market. Yeah, but it's not about how much it costs. It's about how much money I've got spare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I was holding down a proper job, yeah, I could probably reasonably I could probably go for like 30 grams a month. Yeah, being that I'm working, but I'm not working, and so I'm here available to smoke, and so I'm probably go through more. I smoke more than maybe average people do. Like, but I'm not even sure 30 grams would work. I think I would run out even if I give them 30 grams. I would. So what I would do, yeah, is for the first month I would take the 30 grams and run out, and then I would have a good understanding of how long 30 grams lasted, and then I would, for the next month, I would go, right, I'm not going to have one at, I don't know, in the morning, or I'll not have one midday. I'll only have one in the morning and one at night, or just to make. I would accommodate my usage, yeah, to my ability to buy.
Yeah, I feel like you're better off just getting a scale, weighing out a gram a day, and then you can see, okay, this is what I've got for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, coming in there with the fucking good ideas.
Well, like, you know, for 10 years I had to make sure I didn't smoke too much, because if I smoked too much, then like I didn't have money to show for it, and that would be bad.
But no, so anyway, tagging on the end of the story.
$2.50 an ounce from a red state. I mean, that's still, you know, a little over $30 an eighth, but that's at an ounce price. So at $2.50 an ounce, like I still wouldn't be surprised to see $40 eighths off of that.
Pick with your tail. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. She just knocked the mouse and things paused a moment. Behave, would you please? Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So I spent 55 on 10 grams, and it's nearly finished now. So I was thinking, well, maybe I should, because I was in lots of talks with Smidge about selling pipes, and so I I've finally got it set up. Yeah, to sell some. I thought we got a thing called a car boot sale. Yeah, it's like a market. Yeah, but it's bring your junk to the market. Yeah, and sell it for cheap.
Like
Kind
a
of.
flea market.
Yeah, kind of flea market. Yeah, but not doesn't have to be. So it doesn't have to be sell things cheap. You can sell anything
Ooh,
you want.
50 and eighth.
It, yeah, but I the the car boot sale near me, yeah, started yesterday. First time of the year, yeah. And so I've been planning on going there, selling some pipes. See if I can't sell some pipes, but it's going to cost me £10, yeah, to set up a stall,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's an investment of £10 to set. So I was going to go yesterday, yeah. It was the first one, but I was looking at the weather and it looked very wet. Yeah, not sunny at all. Right, windy, wet kind of thing. And so I decided that if I've only got £10 in my wallet, maybe I'll wait till next week.
Yeah, I mean, if the weather is like crappy, then you're gonna see less foot traffic, and if you're still paying the same $10, you're gonna want like a day where you have more eyeballs.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly. But then I'm
I've
sitting.
been kicked out of a flea market before.
Have you?
Like that's a task.
What could you possibly do wrong at a flea market to
uh
get kicked out?
my the roommate I was living with at the time, or I had two roommates, but one of them had this great idea to sell Snapple at the flea market because they had some promotion where if you collected enough Snapple caps, you could. I don't even fucking know. It was his harebrained idea. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not doing anything today. I'll go along for the ride and just like, sell Snapple to you at a flea market because I don't fucking care. And yeah, the flea market was like, no, you can't sell outside food and drink because he was buying it from the restaurant he worked at. So he was paying restaurant prices to get like a couple of cases of this. And so we were able to essentially undercut the flea market's concession stand. And they did not like that. They told us to stop selling. And, Tony didn't listen. So it's just like, well, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm just here, for like whatever's going on. So yeah, like he didn't stop, and then eventually, like a couple of security guards showed up, stood in front of the table, and waited for us to tear down and drive off. Because obviously we didn't listen the first time around. But yeah, that's how I got kicked out of a flea market.
Yeah.
Well, you hear people getting, like they have stories they get kicked out of a bar, they get kicked out of a restaurant, but almost no one has a story about getting kicked out of a flea market.
You were an illegal trader. Yeah. Right, that was.
I mean, the Snapple wasn't illegal, so it's not like we were, actually like, dealing contraband, which either of us could have at the time. I don't remember which one of us was dealing at the time, but it was one of us.
It's the two security guards at the end, just standing there watching you pack up.
Yeah, like at one point they tried to, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say interrogate me, but they tried to talk to me. I'm like, this is his idea, like, deal with him. I'm just here.
Yeah.
I am not the brains of the operation.
Just trying to get the music to go again. I need to put a new fan in this PC. I think it might be overheating a little bit.
Ooh, that's gonna be. Do you know if it's a standard size fan or is it like custom to that, form factor?
I'm in negotiations with the company.
I mean, fingers crossed it's just a normal fan that you can buy, because if it's a custom thing, then that could suck, like bad. Well, like
I've
I
already
just think
opened it
of
up.
like,
I don't think it's custom.
well, like I think of back to, like, when people would have me like work on their computers and crap like that, and like someone hands you a Dell, it's entirely possible that the motherboard and the case are unique to that model line of Dell. So you can't upgrade anything because they only made one motherboard that fits in that case. So if the motherboard goes bad, you can buy, upgrade it or make it, the computer faster, or and like the moment you want to be like, okay, well then fuck it, like I'm just gonna salvage what I can from this machine. You can't, use the case, the board. You can't use the power supply because that's probably going to be specific to that case. So like you can grab the drives and like maybe the RAM, maybe the processor, depending on what you're doing. But yeah, like things aren't always very upgradable when you have like special sizes.
Yeah, yeah. Music's not going. I don't know why.
I've had to replace the fans in this case at least 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, well, I've opened the case up already twice, and I don't think custom. Yeah, but I just want to make sure I get the right size. So I've got an email. I'm in an email conversation with the company. Right, I don't know why the music's not
Did your mic
going.
stop working, or are you just not saying anything?
No, my mic stopped working. Is it working now? Okay. Something's going wrong. Something's definitely going wrong. Okay. Is it working now? There we
Ah,
go.
there you are.
Yeah, it just suddenly stopped working.
Thanks, Windows.
It was almost like the headset disconnected. Uh,
Yeah, like I
mm,
don't know a lot about Bluetooth because I generally avoid using it due to limited bandwidth.
mm. Yeah, so what I was saying was, it's what was I saying? Um,
The fan is
yeah,
hopefully a standard size
I think it's I think
with a
it's
standard connector.
I think it's a standard fan. I just want to make sure I get the right size. Yeah, because I think it's a smaller version than your standard laptop fan.
Well,
Yeah.
like there generally aren't, like, at least all the laptops I own, there aren't standard fans for them. Like, you go buy the, a used part that fits in that exact model of laptop.
Did you just hear thunder?
No.
Oh, that must have been a sound outside. Yeah. Why is this music not going?
I think one of the fans in this desktop's actually starting to die again. I have another fan or two in a box downstairs because the last time I had to replace the fans, I just bought like a 3-pack or a 5-pack or whatever it was.
Yeah, I
But
bought some.
like, I hate having to go inside to swap a fan out.
Yeah, I bought some fans for my tower PC. Yeah, and then just after I bought those fans, yeah, the wife went and bought me a different PC. So I've still got the fans up there somewhere. I've just not got the need for them. Still, just one more thing to
Yeah,
add to
whereas
the collection of.
like I just replace parts of this computer as they get old or die. So
Yeah, I think I'm having resource problems going on here. If you can hear me.
yeah, I mean, just buy new systems, but like I'm probably never gonna buy an entire new system because
Yeah, sorry, man.
why
I'm
would I do
struggling
that?
here. I can hear you. I don't
In
know
and
whether you
out, I
can.
can hear you.
Yeah, I think. I think what's going on here is everything is working fine, and then Windows wants to do something. Yeah. When
Yeah,
it's just when Windows wants to do something, it's just too much. Yeah, and there's not enough resources for other things, and so it's cutting out.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
Like that is pretty classic Windows behavior. Generally, I'll open the task manager and then pay attention to what's the power usage, because I find that it might lie about the CPU or hard drive usage, but if it says high power usage, it's using resources somehow.
Yeah, that's just one of those things I was talking about that keeps pushing me towards fucking Linux. Yeah, is that it's doing something, you don't know what it's doing in the background, and you can't figure out what it's doing, but it's doing something.
So, technically, if you wanted, you could run a Linux distribution off of a USB key.
Yeah, I've had that done before, running an
The
operation system.
Well, like the annoying part is that it's generally not going to save settings and changes between reboots because it's not like a permanent thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, oh, what was that?
While people can hear me, yeah. Whoever that is hanging out in chat, there's the link there if you want to join us. But I'm about to shut down because I'm having resource problems on my computer, and so I'll be shutting down. But if you want to join us, yeah, we'll still be here chatting. Yeah. Well, as I say, if that's you, Jess, or Ralph, or someone, yeah, come join us.